Before we get started, we have on December 13th, we had lost a great friend and a good mentor, Mrs. Evelyn Lord. She has been in the city for a long, long time, and she was a great friend to all of us. So I'd like to ask you for a moment of silence to remember her. Thank you. Now we're officially getting started. Good afternoon again. My name is Sina Nejad. I have the privilege of being the chair of the Planning and Zoning Commission, and along with my capable commissioners, we welcome you to our meeting of December 16, 2024. If you would please call the roll.
Chairman Najad.
Here.
Commissioner Beatty is absent. Commissioner Jabbar is absent. Commissioner Jabia.
Here.
Commissioner Javed.
Here.
Commissioner Linton is absent. Commissioner Macon is absent. Commissioner Noyola.
Present.
Commissioner Senegar is absent. Alternate Commissioner Harris is absent. Alternate Commissioner Sorrell.
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. You all have received a copy of the minutes of the meeting of November 25th. If there are no corrections or comments, I would accept the motion to accept. Otherwise, I would hear your comments.
Motion for approval. Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second. Is there any discussion in the matter? None is heard, so the minutes of the meeting of November 25th are approved and entered into the records. With that, we're going to get.
We all wanted to vote on
I'm sorry. Oh, we forgot to vote, didn't we? All in favor say aye.
it. Aye.
Any in opposition? The ayes have it. That's the first mistake of the day. If it gets to the third one, I'll leave. All right, we're going to get started with PZ 2024295, please.
Winrow Services is seeking approval of a replat of lots 1 and 2, Executive Business Park, Section 3, a partial replat of Tract 2, Executive Business Park, Section 2, and .31 acres of land situated in the A. Williams League Survey, abstract number 385, into lots 1 and 2 of the Caliber Beaumont Addition, Beaumont, Jefferson County, Texas. The intent of this plat is to adjust the property lines to allow for the commercial development of the Caliber Collision Facility. This development proposal was approved with conditions by Planning Commission earlier this year. Staff recommends approval of this replat. We did send 17 property owner notices, and we received 5 in favor and 0 in opposition. The area outlined in red on the screen is the area considered for the replat. This is the aerial image of it and the replat. I do believe the applicant is not present.
So this is basically taking care of some of the legalities on the lot, right?
Essentially, it's just adjusting the property lines.
Okay, all right. Any questions for Demi? Nope. And the applicant's not here, but we can ask for any public comment. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak for or against this case? None is heard, so we close the public hearing. We heard from the staff and the conditions. I do entertain the motion.
Move to approve PZ 2024-295 with the 3 conditions.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? The ayes have it. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. PZ 2024326.
Access Surveyors is seeking approval of a replat to a portion of Lot 1, Block B, Mayfair 2nd Edition, into Lots 1A and 1B, Block B, Mayfair 2nd Edition, Beaumont, Jefferson County, Texas. The intent of the replat is to divide one lot into 2 residential lots. Staff does recommend approval of the request. We sent 12 property owner notices. We received 1 in favor and 0 in opposition. The area outlined in red is the area they're wishing to take 1 lot into 2 lots. Aerial image and the plat. And we do have the applicant present.
Any questions? Good afternoon, sir. How are you? I see him once a month here and once a month in Austin.
Good afternoon.
You doing okay?
Doing well. I hope y'all are all doing fine. My name is Colby Bracken with Access Surveyors, located at 11025 Old Both Road. Thank you, staff, for helping us out. Hopefully we can get this pushed through today. If there's any questions, I'd be more than happy to try and answer them.
What's the width of the smaller lot?
It appears to be over 50. The one I have in front of me, I can't really read it that well. But I do know that it meets the minimum lot width requirements here in the city of Beaumont. And it does have the adequate amount of road frontage there along
Through the
Brighton.
drawing, you can't read it, but you know it's good.
I know it's good. I have faith.
That
I have
gives
faith.
me all the confidence I need.
I'm glad to hear it.
Okay. Demi, you know if it's going to meet the minimum requirement?
It meets the minimum.
Okay. Any questions for the gentleman? Thank you, Mr. Bracken.
Thank you.
Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak for or against this case? None is heard. We close the public hearing. We heard from the applicant and also the staff, and I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? The ayes have it. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Go ahead and go to PZ 2024328.
Alberto Elefano of Fitz and Shipman has requested a preliminary plat approval of the Greystone subdivision, Phase 1. Conditional approval of this plat was granted in May of 2022. However, the development was unable to file a final plat prior to the expiration date. This application is before the Planning Commission once more for reconsideration of the 8.5 acre residential development. The development will consist of 31 new residential lots. The proposed collector streets, Oakcrest and Maple Grove, will have a 60-foot right-of-way and pavement width of 37 feet. Water and sewer will be provided by extension of the city's facilities. Staff recommends approval with the following conditions. Number 1, future phases will require a second separate and approved fire apparatus access road. Number 2, the dates in the title blocks must be updated from 2022 to the current year for the execution of the preliminary plat. Number 3, revise the street layout plan to meet the city's ordinance requirements. Number 4, the design of the final water and sewer utilities shall be approved by the city engineer. Number 5, additional right-of-way must be dedicated along Felix Street to allow a 60-foot wide collector street or limit future development to the west. The area outlined in red on the screen is the area in consideration. Aerial photography. And this is the plat. And I do believe we have the applicant present.
And the fire access is on the top of the page, right? For the future?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
If you would state your name and address for the record, please.
Yes, sir. My name is Alberto Elefano. I work for Fish and Shipment, and our address is 1405 Cornerstone Court, Beaumont, Texas.
Great. You have any additional information that you'd like to give us?
So, sir, I think they covered everything.
And you do understand the 5 conditions?
Yes.
Any questions for the gentleman? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, this doesn't require public comment, so with that, I would ask for a motion.
Motion to approve with the 5 conditions?
Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? The ayes have it. Thank you. 2024346.
Yes, sir. Access Surveyors request approval of a replat of lots 2 and 3 Delta Business Park Addition into lots 3A and 3B Delta Business Park Addition, Beaumont, Jefferson County, Texas. The intent of the replat is to remedy an illegal subdivision of land and then legally subdivide the property into 2 lots for future development. Staff recommends approval of the request with the following conditions. Number 1, clearly identify the parties responsible for maintenance within the dedicated easement on the plat, subject to the city's approval prior to final recordation. Number 2, the exclusive waterline easement should not be included within the shared access agreement. I do have 2 more conditions that I need to add to this. So a third, to add a plat note to state per clerk's file number 20200039991, official public records of real property, Jefferson County, Texas. The installation, maintenance, and repair of the common access driveway and related utility and drainage facilities located therein shall be the responsibility of the owners. And a fourth condition, shall add the city of Beaumont below the call-out that says exclusive waterline easement. We did send out 15 property owner notices. We received 3 in favor and 0 in opposition. The area outlined in red is the area under review. Aerial image. And the replat. And I do believe we have the owner present and the applicant.
Demi, you said that the lot that is going to be the new lot is lot 3B. It's going to be only one parcel, right?
Right.
Would they be able to come and separate that later on, or why is it there's one parcel right now?
To do that, they would need to build that street to city specifications to dedicate it as a road. And then that would provide adequate street frontage to then further subdivide.
Okay, that's not stated in here, but I guess is understood by the owner?
We've had many conversations, yes.
can
But I
ask.
believe that he's also here.
Okay, good. Any questions for the lady? Great. The applicant? Mr. Bracken.
Hello, Colby Bracken with Access Surveyors 11025 Old Both Road here in Beaumont, Texas. As the applicant, my staff's been working with your staff pretty well the past week or so, and we do understand the 4 conditions. We will be more than happy to address those and put those on the face of this plat. My client, the owner, is also here if there are additional questions.
Okay. Do you know what they're going to do with this property?
I couldn't necessarily say, but the owner is here, and I'm sure he'd be more than happy to
All right, let's hear
address
from the
that.
owner. Hey, good afternoon. Good evening. Come on up. How are you, sir?
Doing good.
If you would state your name and address for the record, please.
Henry LaBrie, 10655 Highway 365, Beaumont.
Great. Mr. LaBrie, what are you going to do with 3B, the 5 acre?
That's a future development for future buildings and stuff to lease.
You understand you cannot divide it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, I just wanted to make sure you understand that. Great. Any questions for the folks? You guys are easy today. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Great, thank you. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak for or against this case? None is heard, so I would entertain the motion. There are 4 conditions attached to this.
A motion to approve with the 4 conditions?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any in opposition? Mr. Bracken, you do understand condition 3, right? It's kind of a long condition, so I couldn't follow it, but you do have some written marks on that?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Have a great day. All right. PZ 2024325.
I think we need to do the joint meeting or open it up to.
I'm sorry. Yes. The Honorable Mayor, would you get us started with the joint meeting, please?
I'll be happy to. Welcome, everyone. This is a joint meeting which is formed of both City Council and the Planning Commission. May we have roll call, please?
Mayor West,
Present?
Mayor Pro Tem Neild is absent. Councilmember Durio,
Present.
Councilmember Felshaw,
Present.
Councilmember Getz,
Present.
Councilmember Samuel,
Aye.
Councilmember Turner.
Here.
Thank you.
Speak on today's item. The Planning Commission will make a recommendation to City Council. The item heard today will come before City Council on the next available agenda for our discussion. There will be no public hearing on these items at the City Council meeting, since today is the only day of the public hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're going to get started with 2024325.
Good afternoon. Real quick, I wanted to clarify, for the joint public hearing, there's going to be two cases for 3100 North Major Drive. This first one that I'm about to present is regarding a third driveway. The third one is regarding a drinking place, just so everyone knows who's come to speak on the case. So going into this first one, in February of 2017, the City Council approved an SUP to allow a retail shopping center with restaurants, clothing stores, food shops, beauty salons, and professional offices at 3100 North Major. In April of 2023, the City Council approved an amended SUP for this same use to accommodate a shift in the driveway placement. Haney Tomei is requesting approval of an amended SUP to allow the construction of a third driveway to serve the shopping center. The driveway will be gated. This third driveway will be gated and serve as an access point for delivery trucks. The submitted site plan shows a 5-foot sidewalk being placed on TxDOT's right-of-way. The sidewalk will need to be placed on private property, or planning staff must receive written permission from TxDOT to allow the sidewalk within their right-of-way. Staff recommends approval of the request with the following conditions. Number 1, construction plan shall comply with all applicable building and fire code requirements. Number 2, construction plans must meet all requirements by water utilities for water and sanitary sewer services, including any requirements of the city's backflow pretreatment and/or fog program. Number 3, directional lighting shall be installed to reflect away from the residences located off Village Drive, south of the proposed development. Number 4, the 5-foot sidewalk shall be constructed on private property along the front property line unless the applicant submits to the planning office's written permission from TxDOT allowing the sidewalk to be placed within their right-of-way. Number 5, shall submit amended plans to the building official reflecting the construction of the third driveway. Staff sent 42 property owner notices. We received 4 in favor and 2 in opposition. In favor stating, my concern is if the development will cause drainage issues onto their property, will be good for Beaumont along Major, and that a retail center sounds nice, but not an apartment complex. Opposition stating, there is not enough room to accommodate a third driveway to the south end of the building. Another stating, no apartments, homes only, and definitely no bars in my backyard. On the screen, the area outlined in red is the area under review. The third driveway will be furthest to the south near the orange color, or RMH, which is the residences off of Village Drive. Aerial image. Real quick, this Google Earth wasn't populated to or updated to reflect, but this development is already underway with construction. And this is the site plan. The area outlined to the south or to the right is that third driveway that would be amending this SUP. This is the subject property. To the north, southwest, east, and west.
Demi, these conditions, were they already attached to the previous?
They were.
They
That
were.
one in 2023. The only
Right.
addition is condition 4 and 5. for addressing the sidewalk placement, which on their site plan for this case, it looks like they placed the sidewalk into TxDOT's right-of-way. On the approved building plans, that sidewalk was placed on private property. So I just wanted that to be clear, that that is not, an approval of this is not reflecting an approval of the sidewalk.
Okay, all right. But the lights and all this other stuff, they were already on the other one, so they should be complying with that anyway, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Dr. Tomei, good afternoon, sir. If you would state your name and address for the record, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Heini Tomei, Golden Triangle Consulting Engineers, 85 Interstate 10 Frontage Road, Suite 204A, Beaumont, Texas, 77707. I know I've been on this podium regarding this matter multiple times due to COVID and some other things. At the time we were working with TxDOT on this driveway, we did not have the permission yet, and that's why it was not added to the original plans that got approved. But now we have a final approval from TxDOT. We meet all their requirements through the traffic study, the spacing, and so on and so forth. The driveway will have a gate with a keypad for entry, will only be used for deliveries, and that will prevent the traffic through the main driveway for the development that's in the center roughly of that lot. All the other items have already been addressed. The great thing about the drainage on this project, it goes straight to the DD6 infrastructure that the developer spent about $500,000 to bring it to the corner of that property. And from that infrastructure, it goes straight to the detention pond that DD6 own and operate north of the property. So it should have zero impact on the neighborhood or on TxDOT as well when it comes to drainage. If you all have any questions, I'll be more than happy to address them.
I'll remember this. You had an agreement to put the pipe in somebody else's property to get it to the pond, right?
Correct. Mr. Parigi had already developed his property, so they paid him to bring these the boxes up to their property.
And you
That
do
also
have,
will cover the subdivision that's planned for the near future in the back. So even the subdivision drainage is gonna go straight to DD6.
and you said TxDOT already approved this.
Yes, sir. We have an approval from TxDOT.
Great. Any questions for the gentleman?
Do you understand condition 4 about the sidewalks?
I do.
Alrighty.
Any other questions? Thank you, Dr. Tomei.
Thank you.
Great. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak for or against this case? Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Ron Smith, and I live in the entrance of Phillips Drive.
All right, do you mind coming up front so we can see you real good? Not with those necklaces. You doing all right, sir?
Yes, yes.
Fantastic. If you would state your name and address one more time.
Ronald Smith, and my address is 8070 Village Drive, Beaumont, Texas, 77713, one of the original owners of West Chase.
Fantastic. Would
I've
love
been
to
there
hear
since
from you.
2006.
Good.
And the only thing I just want to question, I have no quarrels with growth. You know, I like improvements and all that. You know, but it's got to be the right one. You can't go in there and make a mess and expect somebody else to clean it. You know, my fence is messed up. I sent you a letter about a month and a half ago where the whatever they pulling the roots of the grass that against the fence, somehow the roots kind of messed up the fence. I want to replace my fence, but you know, and I'm thinking if it's going to get torn down anyway, I might as well wait till your project get done. Are they going to do anything about that? Are they going to change the back residents of West Chase right there and make it simple? Just fix the fence. That's all I care about. you know, because that costs money. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely.
I'm
Anything else, sir?
I'm a retired working man. I'm almost 80 years old. So I want to enjoy my life, not be mad and angry at anybody. All right?
That's fantastic. Anything else, sir?
I'm done.
Thank you very much. You have a great afternoon. Anybody else that would like to speak for or against this case? Yes, sir, please. Who messed up your fence?
Nobody's messed my fence up.
All right.
I'm the only one that mows behind their fence 12 feet. To put that driveway where they're wanting to put it,
Could you state your
realize it's
name and
Oh,
address
I'm
for the
sorry.
record? I'm sorry.
Your name and address, please, for the record.
Darwin Bolton, 8050 Village Drive.
All right.
So I'm the third house there. Where that driveway is, that's the start of our turn lane into our addition. We went for years, no light. We fought, we get a light, and now y'all want to put a driveway where our turn lane starts. There's wrecks there all the time. Everybody runs that red light. If you live there, you'll know it. And to add another driveway within 3 or 4 car lengths of that makes no sense to me. You're also putting concrete further, 20 more feet further over on your property up against mine. That's cement. Cement doesn't drain or it doesn't absorb water. And I personally don't want 18-wheelers coming around behind my fence to make their deliveries, to dump their garbage. It even shows trash bins up against Mr. Smith's fence. Why would you put big trash bins out in the front of, in a parking lot instead of behind a building? A lot about it I don't like. The main thing, I do not want a bar in there.
Good.
I don't mind a restaurant with drinks. I don't mind the liquor stores. They close at 10, they open at 10. But there's been 2 different drawings online. I've seen the proposal.
We're only looking at the driveway right
Yeah.
now. We're gonna get to the other one in a minute, but
So I'll have to.
what else other than the driveway, on the driveway issue?
Well, the driveway, you're just putting all that green up there. That's going away and you're putting more concrete. And it's coming up to where it's right behind these homes. I mean, right up against the fences.
All right, they're not putting concrete on the green. So, but anyway, we'll let the gentleman explain. We'll hear from him. Anybody else that would like to speak for or against this case? If you would, hold on one second. Let me go through this lady and then we, good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
State your name and address for the
Christine Smith, 8060 Village Drive. I'm the second house as you pull into the subdivision. And yes, my fence was already damaged and it took me 3 months to get it replaced because they chopped it down. So with these big trucks coming right up there against there, the turn radius and everything else, something's gonna happen. And like Darwin said, I agree with everything he said. And that is absolutely nowhere to put big 18-wheeler delivery fences and stuff. There's right up against, like he said, right up against our fence line. We already have issues. I already have issues because of all the digging and the trees and the mice and little mouse that are coming around. They're drowning in my pool. I've got the snow all in my pool from all of that. Little bits and pieces from whatever they're blowing in for the insulation and stuff. It's horrible. But I definitely don't believe that we should have all that, especially right there, right behind us.
All right. Anything else, ma'am?
Now, I'll talk about the other one later.
Okay. Anybody else? You, sir. Good afternoon.
Yes, I'm going to speak on the other one as well. My name is Rob Jones. I'm the president. I'm Rob Jones. I'm the president of the Fairfield Association.
Okay, I'd like to keep the two separated if you don't mind.
You're going to have 2 separate.
Okay.
Perfect. So my question is, everybody from Village is speaking about the driveway. My question is that a 20-foot green belt between their residence and where the driveway is? Or are they going to run it over to the green belt? Is that what this is for?
All right, we'll ask that question in a second.
And then that would be my question as far as a residence on Major Drive.
All right.
Pertaining to this particular area.
Perfect.
And for the record, I'm not in favor of the additional driveway either.
All right, sir. Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to speak for or against this case? Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
How are you, sir?
Good. My name's Carl Geraci. Address is 8040 Village Drive, Beaumont, Texas, 77713. One of the questions that I think I have is if it's going to be a gated drive and you're going to have trucks coming out, trucks coming in, or is it just one way out as far as gated
We'll ask that
access?
question.
One. Two, if it is in and out, coming in, there's not, in my opinion, going to be enough room to get a truck in there to hit a keypad to go in, especially if they're coming from the south trying to turn in. We've had numerous incidents on this road that TxDOT can verify accident-wise, especially up above these lots where vendors are using access to go into lots where there's been drives put in, but they're not supposed to be parking there, but they're there selling things. And eventually somebody hits somebody because they're all parked right in that easement between Major Drive and the road. So we need to address that as well. I agree with Darwin. Coming in and out of there, it's too close to our turn lane, et cetera, et cetera. So I'd like to get those things addressed.
All right, sir, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else that would like to speak for or against this case? Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you today?
Well, thank you.
Great. If you would state your name and address for the record, and we'd love to hear from you.
Stacy O'Gemini, 8030 Village Drive, Beaumont, Texas, 77713. I just gave you my address. I am the neighbor of Darwin and Mr. Carl, and I have the same concerns. We're concerned about the space. My house is right there. We're going to experience the same issues with the fence. My thought is if this does go through, which we are opposed, is there going to be some extra fencing put in, higher fencing, to make some separation between the properties? And then also we're concerned about garbage storage, attracting rodents, all of those things. So I echo what everyone has already said.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. You already know the routine, right?
I beg, sir?
So you know the routine.
Yeah.
Okay, do it.
Yeah, Dennis Paquette, 2595 Sunflower Lane, Beaumont. And so we're, again, within West Chase Village, and I'm just going to echo the concerns as far as the traffic issue, recognizing that this specific 325 is more about the driveway issue. As they've kind of alluded to, we've had numerous issues, people running the red light a lot, where it's eating into where that turn lane is. There's a lot of traffic already heading northbound to where that turn lane would be. There's people going into that across the street where the event center is, gas station, all that. So there's a lot of traffic going into that center turning lane already. So the addition of one more driveway, just as the safety consideration, as a traffic consideration, I just want to echo those concerns.
All right, sir.
We'll be back for the next one.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ma'am.
I'm Jane Burns, 2545 Amberwood Drive, Beaumont, Texas, 77713. I'm not an engineer, but there clearly is not enough space there for safety. The proximity's too close there. Just common sense, boots on the ground, putting my eyes on it. It doesn't make any sense. There's not enough room there. It's a safety concern. And surely there's another avenue that would be better for the community and the property owner that would not sacrifice the safety and the close proximity to these homes and that turning lane. So I am in opposition of that additional driveway there.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there anybody else that would like to speak for or against this case?
One more.
Hello,
Hi there, sorry.
which one are you going to speak?
Which one am I gonna speak about?
Which one are you two going to speak?
Oh, me. Well, he might be a little bit vocal, but I'm Courtney Betancourt. I live at 2589 Sunflower Lane. So my backyard backs right up into all of this.
Yes, ma'am.
I just, I worry about the whole thing in general, but the driveway specifically, I think it's just gonna be really dangerous. We have a lot of people that kind of fly in and out of our neighborhood anyway. We have a lot of kids that live there. I just think extra kind of attention to that area and maybe extra visitors is really gonna create a problem
Okay.
for us.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else that would like to speak for or against this case? All right. We heard from, if there's nobody else, we're going to close the public hearing. Dr. Tomei, you've heard a number of folks stating their oppositions. Number one is 18-wheelers. Number two, if this is a one-way or two-way. Number three is turning radius. It seems to be problematic. And apparently the contractor's damaging a lot of fences. So if you don't mind, tell us what your remedies are.
Good afternoon again. I'm not the contractor or the developer, but on their behalf, I know if they were here, they would apologize for all the fences that have been damaged. And that's something they need to address. And if people can give me their name and number before they leave, I'll be more than happy to get that information to the contractors. Secondly, when it comes to the drainage, again, this project is not going to impact any of the existing drainage, not on the south of it or the east of it. As a matter of fact, currently the houses that are on the east side, somebody had come out there at one point or another and dug a ditch on that property all the way in the back and to the front and is basically draining a lot of that infrastructure to TxDOT. And that needs to be addressed, and this project will address it by taking all that drainage to the DD6 infrastructure. As far as the in and out, this is only going to be an in and out will be from the other side. And whether this driveway is there or not, the project as approved does have that driveway on the south side that's going to take these trucks to the back. So the passage there is going to be there. And then you can see the landscaping easement between the south property line and this driveway. It doesn't show it here, but that's going to have an 8-foot tall fence, and it's going to have landscaping along that side to actually provide privacy and block the residential homes on the south side from this development. As far as the room to come in and out, just from the gate to the property line, there's approximately 30 feet. And then before you even get to the turning radius, there's another 30 or 40 feet. So there's plenty of room for a truck to turn in and stop, punch in the numbers to get in the gate. This would not have been approved by TxDOT if it showed any kind of danger or public health safety hazard with its existence there. There was a traffic study conducted for this project, so TxDOT would not have approved this driveway if they saw any danger to the public by having it over there. The garbage cans, these are something we can probably work with the neighbors with. If they'd rather situate them somewhere else, we'll look at that and see how we can situate them better than where they are currently. I think these are all the questions I wrote down. If I missed something.
These are basically retail shops, or what are they?
That's where they're supposed to be, retail, yes.
Okay, are you gonna have 18-wheelers going to them?
I don't see any 18-wheelers going in there now.
Okay, delivery, box trucks?
And every business that comes in there that's outside the scope is gonna have to have its own SUP.
Any questions for the gentleman?
Yes, I do have one question. So this is a commercial development. The concern that we had is residential. So is this owner, are they going to build a fence? High enough
Yes, there will
fence?
be an 8-foot tall fence on the south and east side of the property. The north side is gonna be a city street in the future to take to the residential subdivision, single-family homes in the back.
That should have been on the original approval. the fence.
Correct.
Okay.
Dr. Tomon, you
Yes, sir.
have distinguishedly done great work in Beaumont, and we appreciate everything you do, but I do hear some concern among our citizens, and I would ask you that you urgently reach out and connect with them, because there seems to be a sense of concern among the residents. And until you're able to bridge that gap and reassure them that, the dumpsters, the rodents, things I've been hearing this afternoon, I am not in favor of moving forward with this unless you can reassure me and others can reassure me that our residents will be satisfied with what's going on with your
Yes,
your
sir.
work.
And the complaints regarding these items is basically a projection in the future that may happen or may not happen. And if it does happen, and I doubt it will in a development that is at this level, if it does happen, there are city ordinances that will come down on these folks and take them out. So it's not like they can keep the garbage piled up on the grass and not pick it up and get away with it. But we're projecting that it might happen, but there's no evidence that it will. There's plenty of developments at this level and this size that don't have these issues because the owners handle their business properly. But in case they don't, the city can come down on them at any time because they're not abiding by ordinances when they do that.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I'd like to add one more thing too.
Go ahead.
I mean, I understand the citizens' concerns on traffic, especially at their in and out of that subdivision. And these are items that probably the city and TxDOT need to get together on and see how they can improve that in and out. Because probably when that driveway was originally created, it did not serve as many homes that it's serving today. So that's something probably the city and TxDOT need to have a discussion on and see how they can make that in and out to that residential area a little bit better.
I do have one, Demi, can we add a condition if we do approve that? Excuse me. Masonry fence, 8-foot fence will keep the noise away and that will look better for the residents. Maybe that would make
They
them
already
happy.
have an 8-foot fence, don't
They should have an 8-foot fence on the approved building plans, plus a 10-foot landscaping buffer, because that's a minimum for ordinances. But if you're wanting a masonry fence, that is something that we can consider, of course. Y'all set the conditions, so we can always add or take away.
But I don't know, sir.
The buffer is 20, I can't read it.
29.
29 feet. So
Before
it's
the drive.
29 feet, not 10 feet. But it has an 8-foot fence on it.
Okay, fine, yeah.
And we created that buffer because we know there's residential homes there, so we moved away from them as much as possible.
Okay. I hate to make this comment. I'm not, as the chair, I don't want to have my comment be construed as being in favor or in against, but the traffic is already there. The trucks are going to service these buildings. And an additional drive might even help the the other drive, but that's beside the point. Okay.
That's one of the reasons we worked on that drive and got it approved. Even TxDOT realized it's gonna help, not hurt the situation, so.
Dr. Hani, I have a question real quick. That driveway, is it connecting to the third one?
Is it, sorry?
Is it connecting to the third existing driveway at the end?
No.
No?
The driveway goes in and out from one side, so it's not an in and out driveway.
And your gate would be deep enough in the property that the truck's not gonna stick out, right?
Correct. You got a 19-foot island, you got a 5-foot sidewalk, you got a 6-foot landscaping, and then there's a 20-foot utility easement there for the water line. So there's plenty of depth in there when a truck pulls in, not to be on the highway.
Okay. Any other questions for the gentleman? I'm sorry, sir. You had your chance to. I'm sorry. Tell me your question and I ask him. Go ahead.
He says all that, the length he's talking about, you can't say there's never gonna be an 18-wheeler. I'm not coming up with 50 or 60 feet, which is gonna be required for
All
a
right.
40-foot or 50-foot truck
Okay.
and a trailer.
How many feet did you say you have?
If you look at where the gate is, you got the island,
Yeah.
the sidewalk, the landscaping, and then there's a 20-foot utility easement, I believe it is 20 feet. And then if you come all the way down to where the beginning of the driveway is, there's 77 feet right there. That's to the property line. So there's 77 feet
Okay.
plus
If I
5.
calculate, I'm sorry for cutting you off. I'm just trying to get this done. The depth of the parking is 24. There's another 20 feet of easement. That's 44. Then there's a 56 feet to the edge of the property, right? So it's almost 100 feet.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct. It's a little bit more than 100 feet.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
All right, folks. We've heard from the staff, the engineer, and also the neighbors and their concern. And I would entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve PZ 2024-325.
Second.
We have a motion to approve. Is there, and the second?
Is that with conditions?
With the,
five
with the five conditions. And we have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion in the matter?
Are you adding that masonry fence or no?
That's not part of my motion.
Okay.
There's already provisions for a
No,
screen wall.
I didn't know there was no buffer there, but there is, if there's a buffer there and 8 feet, but that will drive a lot of cost to the owner, I don't know. So I'll leave that out.
So we have a motion, we have a second. Any other discussion?
I'm sorry, who was the person that seconded the motion? Thank you.
If there are no additional comments, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition?
No.
One no, the motion carries. Okay, let's go to PZ 2024-349.
Jennifer and Buddy Dubai of Hooked Recovery request approval of an SUP to operate a vehicle storage facility located at 5525 Cole Street. Hooked Recovery is a repossession collector for delinquent loans of automobiles, boats, watercrafts, ATVs, recreational vehicles, farm equipment, etc., in collaboration with banks through the National Repossession Database. The repossessed items are held on the lots for 1 to 60 days based on the lien holder's processes. The City of Beaumont Police Department requires all towing services to be registered with the city, in addition to bearing proof of being licensed and permitted as a tow truck operation pursuant to state statutes. Staff recommends approval of the request with the following conditions. Number 1, the applicant shall be in compliance with Articles 12.06 and 6.08 of the city's Code of Ordinances. Number 2, the applicant shall obtain a certificate of occupancy from building codes. Number 3, all repossessed items must be located within the enclosed area and shall not be stored on any right-of-way. Number 4, any future construction plans must meet requirements by water utilities for water, sanitary sewer services, including any requirements of the city's backflow pretreatment and/or fog program. Staff sent 20 property owner notices. We received 0 in favor and 1 in opposition. The opposition didn't disclose why they opposed. This opposition did result in 25% of the surrounding land area to be in protest. So this would require a supermajority vote to pass. The area outlined in red is the area under review, and more specifically, this is the area where the tow service will be located. Aerial image, so you can see that area is outlined for the tow service. Subject property from Cole Road. Subject property. Subject and east. Northwest. Northeast. And southwest. And I believe not have the owner or applicant present.
We do not?
Do not.
Okay. Is any of these conditions allude to fencing?
They don't, but the area is already enclosed. You can see this area, it's kind of you can see it's kind of grassed over, but they do have a chain link fence.
Okay, so a wood fence is not required?
Not necessarily. You know, we could always add a condition, but not necessarily.
What is it being used for right now?
The ordinance does not require it, right? Okay.
What is it being utilized for right now?
It is hooked recovery right now. So it came to light that they were operating in the city without a CO or a certificate of occupancy. And because it stores more than 10 cars, it requires a specific use permit. So they're now trying to come back into compliance with our city's codes. And that's why they're before you. And I wanted to clarify, they may have walked in at the time that we did this, but they did not check in as being here.
You're not going to tell me they got bored with us, are you?
I don't know. Are you guys here?
All right. Well, we heard from the staff, and there is a public comment in here. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak for or against this case? Yes, ma'am.
Could you come up to the podium?
It's 339.
Y'all said 349, that's when y'all started talking about Cole Road, so I was making sure the number.
Oh, sorry, this case number is 339.
Any other comments, questions? And the applicant is not here, so we heard from the staff, and there are 4 conditions. There's nobody that's complaining, so I would ask for a motion.
Motion to approve with the 4 conditions.
Second.
We have a motion to approve with 4 conditions and a second. Is there any discussion in the matter? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? The ayes have it. Thank you. Now, we're going to go to PZ 2024349. Demi?
Yes, sir. Dion Lowe and Alicia Ramsey request approval of a specific use permit to allow a drinking place to be located at 3100 North Major, Building C, Suite 5. The operations will run from noon to 2 a.m. The business plan offers specialty cocktails and finger foods. The applicant intends to cater to after-work needs for professionals with a dress code and age limit for patrons. Staff recommends approval of the request with the following conditions. Number 1, the establishment and property premises shall remain in compliance with the Building Code, Fire Code, Zoning Code, Offenses and Nuisances Code, Health and Sanitation Code, and all other applicable codes of the city. Number 2, construction plans must meet all requirements by water utilities for water and sanitary sewer services, including any requirements of the city's backflow, pretreatment, and/or fog program. And number 3, shall enroll into the Beaumont Police Department's Real-Time Crime Center program and maintain annual subscriptions thereafter, or employ security patrols during the operating hours. Staff sent 42 property owner notices, and we received 4 in favor and 4 in opposition. Opposition stating concerns of noise, drunk driving, proximity of a bar to their neighborhood and backyards. Favor stating no problem with this if the establishment does not produce loud noise or music to disturb the neighborhood. Favor also welcoming the new business to the area. The
Are
area.
these all confirmed to be from 200 feet?
These are, yes. The area outlined in red is the area under review. This is an aerial image. And then this is the site plan. We outlined the red box is the area where that suite will be located. So to the right, when you're looking at this, that is the closest, or the area closest to West Chase Village. Subject property to the north, southwest, east, and west. And I believe we have the applicant present, and I believe we have some property owners that would like to speak on it.
Good. Any questions for Demi? And the applicant? Good afternoon, folks. If you would, please state your name and address for the record.
Alicia Ramsey, 6370 Arrowhead Drive, Beaumont, Texas, 77707.
And you, sir?
Leon Lowe, 6370 Arrowhead Drive, 77707.
Great. Do you have any additional information you'd like to give us?
I do hear about the noise level, but that is something that we have taken into consideration when making this plan. That would not be a concern. We're not looking for a club, you know, the hip hop, loud music type scene. We were looking to develop something here that we don't actually have, which is more lounge and relaxation type feel to enjoy drinks and food.
All right. And do you have, what is your business right now?
I'm a process operator at Chevron Phillips.
Oh, fantastic. So do you have another club or restaurant that you're operating?
I do not.
What about you, sir?
No, I work for ExxonMobil. I did have a business, but it was not in our hometown of Beaumont. I actually moved back and I'm away.
Fantastic. This is a big step, jumping into some new business, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. Any questions for the folks?
Do you guys have any relevant experience to running a restaurant or anything like that?
Yes, I do. I've ran the rooftop bar and lounge out in Houston, Texas, right next to U of H. I've done a multitude of renovations and stuff like that on the local bars and in the area that I was in, which is the Kima, Texas area.
How many staff are you going to employ?
We're looking between, starting off between 14 and 16.
You know the occupancy of that suite?
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment.
It's not
You know?
developed yet. I mean, it's not fully.
I don't have that off the top of my head.
It's not a big place from what I see on the drawing.
No, sir.
It's all indoor, right?
Yes.
How many square feet is this, do you know?
3690.
Okay. Do you understand the conditions? I haven't heard of some of these. For example, the one about the registering with the police department, isn't it, Demi? Which
The
one was
Real-Time
it?
Crime Center.
That's number 3.
Number three.
Yes, there is an OR, which is higher security also.
There is.
And that's what we had planned to do.
Okay. All right. Any additional information you'd like to give us? All right. Thank you very much. Okay, folks, we're going to open the floor for public comments. Yeah, run up before the baby starts crying.
A little feral right now, so.
Well, that's okay.
Okay, so I'm Courtney de Betancourt, Do I need to say my address
Good
again?
afternoon again.
2589 Sunflower.
Yes, ma'am.
So my backyard directs backly to this, and my heart dropped when I heard 2 a.m. as the final call, because as a mom of 2 young ones and just myself, I enjoy sleep. We have a major event center across the highway right now that does events, and the music is absurdly loud. Like, we can hear it through traffic, through all hours of the night, right? And the lights too, that's a big problem. My second concern would be someone potentially hopping my back fence if they're trying to elude some bad behavior. I don't love that idea for my safety, and just my privacy in general. And then I just don't love the idea of having an establishment that serves alcohol with absolutely no turning light, no turning lane. Again, that's going to make our entrance a way for people to make a U and then hook a right and get into the property, instead of crossing traffic at 70 miles per hour after they've been drinking or when they plan to. So all around, just safety issues for me and property value. I mean, I think this is going to absolutely wreck our property value, to be honest. So thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Take care of the baby.
I also didn't turn these in. These are the letters we were sent in the mail because I brought them today. Should I give them to somebody? Okay.
Thank you. Is there anybody else? Yeah, let this other gentleman, okay. Well, no, come on, it's okay.
My name is Charles Cox. I live at 3510 Grayson Lane, Beaumont, Texas, 77713. My property
Mr. Cox,
actually, and I want to be clear, so this property is at the Village, closer to Village Drive. So my property actually joins this property on the, I guess, on their north side. And I was here, I guess, in 17 when we originally approved this deal, and I'm well aware of what went on then, but I wanted to be sure that it appears that they've corrected or done what they need to about the drainage originally, but I did send one in earlier. I think I got one earlier. I put no on this particular establishment for drinking in that area. And I'll just echo what everybody else says about the traffic out on Major Drive. The Fairfield entrance, this project is between the Fairfield entrance and the Village entrance. And somebody mentioned the traffic is 70. I guess speed limit's 50. However, they do drive 70 and do run that red light routinely at Village Drive now. So it makes it difficult for all of us, especially the lady on Sunflower, which this would be right behind her. Then I touch it on the north side. So anyway, I'm against that as well. And I think I have a no already sent. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cox. Gentleman in the back, in the blue, good afternoon again.
Yes, sir. Can I open up with just a real quick question?
You would just state your name and
Oh, yeah,
address
Dennis,
first, and we.
yeah, Dennis
all the
Paquette,
time.
again, Dennis Paquette, 2595 Sunflower. This also included a comment about, in addition to the drinking place, the general commercial multiple family dwelling too. Is that part of this still, or is that no longer?
So that's the zoning district of this property, general commercial multiple family dwelling district 2.
Okay, so it's not raising the question of a multiple family unit at all?
No, there's no proposal for that.
Okay, so in that case, just before any kind of real approvals, I like the idea of more businesses, things in here. My house is right, when you're going up Sunflower, it's like right up in that corner almost. So we're looking back, my son's 3, he loves watching the construction, so this has been fun for him. But again, I'm gonna echo the concerns of the drinking establishment. Without better clarity, what is, I know they're saying an age limit, they're saying a membership fee or something along those lines. I'm not sure, are we looking at something that's kind of a much higher end kind of establishment, kind of like a whiskey bar type thing that's not really people getting sloshed? It's more, is it that kind of an idea versus I just don't have a lot of clarity on what exactly they're trying to do. If it's not going to create a lot of ruckus and it's not going to create major safety issues with people having too much to drink and trying to cross multiple lanes of traffic, getting in wrecks and causing a lot of noise and other disruptions behind our house, I would be more inclined to say okay. But if it's, without that clarity, I have a harder time saying okay, So I think that's kind of my comments at the moment.
Thank you, sir. Next. Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon.
If you would state your name and address again.
Darwin Bolton, 8050 Village Drive. So this is in my backyard. Eventually, they're going to have houses, but buffering between what they're just talking about. I won't. I mean, I've got a hole probably 6 feet deep right now that was dug over a year ago when they started construction that's holding water. That's holding it for the construction. I've sent pictures to them, bulldoze it, fill it in, but they use it every time it rains to drain water right behind my fence. So I've got a pond basically. It's not more than 3 foot or 4 feet across, but I'm getting no help with that. All they're concerned with is they're tying their drainage in. And I've watched them. I'm retired. I'm there every day. They're doing what they should be doing, but they haven't addressed, because they're not building homes yet, haven't addressed that back. The largest piece of that lot has just got dirt stacked on it. It's holding water. They can't mow it anymore because it's piles of dirt everywhere. That's construction. I did that my entire life. I worked for ExxonMobil. I retired there, and I don't like somebody else that works at a plant to try and open a bar up right there. I just don't like it. She said the event center, every Friday, every Saturday, almost every one of them. Boom, 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 boom till midnight. I can sleep through it. It's not that it really bothers me, but yeah, it does bother me. These are $500,000 homes that you're putting this in the backyard. I mean, it's ridiculous to have an establishment. You can't say it's going to be wine, and it's a bar. I mean, people are going to get out of hand. Some's going to have too much, some won't, but some will. They're all going to leave there and drive out onto our street, on the major drive. They're all face it, none of them would pass a test. I don't care if they had 3 glasses of wine. They're not going to pull out there and drive. And with all the traffic at that red light, y'all just don't see it because you don't live there. But I know y'all travel up and down Major. It is 70 miles an hour. Fridays and Saturdays, they're doing donuts in the event center. What are they going to do in this parking lot on the weekends? This is 2 and 3 in the morning. When they close, they start doing the donuts in the driveway over there. There's just too many homes. My sisters live in Fairfield, so we've got 2 homes over there. I've got mine in this, and now I just count on the city to do more than that. And you can't tell, I don't see how TxDOT could approve that. I just do not. If they would have, they'd have cemented it in when they initially started, but they started that and they got ahead of themselves. Even in their listings all online, it talks about the amount of traffic that passes that every day, the millions. Nobody's considering that. Look at TxDOT. They want to go TxDOT, look at TxDOT's information on their website of the traffic, even on his trying to lease these spots. I don't blame him. I'm all for progress. I don't really want a bar there. I mean, you've got a liquor stores. You're going to have how many donut shops we need, how many nail salons we need. That's all that's going in there. The only thing, and nobody spoke about it, he talks about a restaurant. Each inn, it's supposed to have a restaurant with outdoor seating. Now they're talking about a driveway over there. So you're still talking about putting an outdoor seating in the far building right up against our fence. That's at least what they show online. I've got the drawings on other pictures.
Thank you, sir.
I'm against it.
Good, thank you. Anybody else?
Good evening. Good afternoon again. My name is Rob Jones. My residential address is 3698 Canyon Lane. I'm speaking on behalf of the Fairfield Homeowners Association as president of the board and also of the organization. We received as the organization a letter addressed to our Fairfield Phase 1 TR common area. All of our residents in Fairfield are owners of that, so I'm going to speak on behalf of all of them. For the board, 3 of the 5 members of the board are not in favor of this. I dropped mine off, signed as president. We're concerned about several things. 1, the noise. 2, the drinking. 3, the speed on Major Drive. Has been mentioned time and time again, the light at Village had been timed or had been opened and working as a timed light, which did allow for traffic to stop and allow people in and out of either whether they're coming out of the event center or Fairfield or Village. Now understand that the light has been rechanged so that only functions when there is a car coming out of Village. As we've mentioned numerous times, the speed going down Major is exorbitant. And there are times when I pull out of Fairfield to turn left or go south, I cannot judge whether I have sufficient time to make it out of that part, out of our addition without a car hitting me. Or if I turn north, I can't guarantee I've adjusted enough time with that car speeding up onto my bumper. With that being said, we've had over the last 15 years, 14 years I've lived in Fairfield, we've had several deaths on Major Drive due to accidents and neglect. I do know with the event center, I've rented it before. I'm required to have police and bar people that are passed by the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission do the survey. But we were required to have police presence the entire time I rented it. I don't know if this place is going to have police activity to watch it and monitor it. I know our members are worried about the sound. We're worried about the traffic. We're worried about somebody getting pulled out and killed. And then I hear, of course, in the letter that was received, it was kind of not listing a whole lot, but it was to be open from 12 noon to 2 a.m., 7 days a week. That's a lot of time. And then in this conversation today, I understand it's 3,600 square feet, which is slightly larger than some of the homes in the addition, but they mentioned they're going to have 14 employees working there. So I don't see how they actually can have the square footage to have an establishment that can serve drinks, can serve finger foods, have 14 employees working, and then have a clientele to be in there. These are some of the things that come to my mind. Anyway, as far as the Fairfield Homeowners Association, we are not in favor of this. As far as myself personally, I'm not in favor of it, and I'm sure there'll be others to speak accordingly. I do thank you for your time and listening to me.
Thank you, sir. Absolutely. And the lady on the 3rd row, 2nd row. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon again.
If you would state your name and address for the record.
Jane Smith, 8060 Village Drive, Beaumont, Texas, 77713. And as everybody has said, I agree with everything. Just wanted to reiterate, I guess this is the Stormy's Bar and Lounge that's on this map. I didn't catch the name of the location. I agree with them, you know, like I said, city ordinance, I know is supposed to be 10 o'clock, 10:30, that you can't have this loud noise and things like that. And I know there's people around I've never been to the 409 or whatever it's called, but they say all the time, people complain about how loud that is too. And I mean, yes, it is a bar, dancing and things like that. I've never been. Again, they said they're gonna have a late age limit and membership, but I don't know anything about it. Darwin mentioned the restaurant that's listed, just show outdoor patio bar. Again, that's right behind my fence. Like, I don't want that. I want to be able to be out in my backyard and enjoy my backyard and not have to listen to people on a patio right across my fence. Or people going in and out of a bar, who knows how it's gonna get obnoxious outside, you know how people get when they're drunk. And again, the same thing with the traffic. And I don't know how long ago the traffic was done, but there's a lot more businesses that have come up there. That traffic's changed. So that light is changed, just like he said. I sat there for 10 minutes the other day trying to get out of my addition because the light didn't change. So I ended up turning right because I couldn't wait. I wasn't going to wait any longer, but it didn't change ever for 10 minutes. So with all this other traffic, like you said, I mean, and I work all the time late. I leave early in the morning, get home late sometimes. I don't really want to have to deal with having to deal with people on the road that have been drinking or pulling out of my subdivision or near my subdivision. So, I mean, I'm against it, and, I don't know what else to say, but that's too close to my fence.
Thank you, ma'am. Anybody else? Good afternoon, ma'am.
Jane Burns, 2545 Amberwood Drive in West Chase. I'm a board member and have been for a number of years out there in West Chase Village. The lady that was sitting to my right had to leave, and she had her oppositions. We had quite a few opposing this, and you stated that you only had received 4, so I'm questioning where our opposition notices are, because there was quite a few. We maintain a park right there at the close to the entrance to our subdivision that's frequented by all the small children there. I'm a lifelong resident of Beaumont, always been a good public servant, and we bitterly oppose this. It is too close to our homes to have a bar. A bar has no business in this area, and I was disappointed that you all did not hear us on that driveway, because if you could stand there, you would see it does not fit, and it makes no sense. This bar is absurd. There is no place for a bar in the backyard of these homeowners. The noise, the drinking, the safety. As a tax-paying resident my entire life and a public servant of this community, I'm asking you guys to support us in not allowing a bar. Progress is one thing, nail salons, donuts, whatever is family oriented. And I ask you to please consider, would you want this in your backyard? Because it has no place there. We do not want it. We bitterly oppose it. I represent the homeowners association out there, and I would be happy to talk to and meet with the people that own this section of land and help them to get tenants that would fit this area. But a bar is not acceptable. And I don't want you guys to make another knee-jerk decision. This deserves time. These are homes. These are people that are living there and paying their taxes and trying to keep their children safe. And we're asking you guys to hear us. Hear us, please. Don't just call for a vote and not consider what you would do if that were your home. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, ma'am. Anybody else? Is there anybody else that would like to speak for or against this case? We're going to close the public hearing. I'm sorry, sir, you had your time.
And you just said, is there anybody else ready to speak? And I raised my hand just before you spoke, and so we're closing the public hearing. You should hear. I speak.
Sir,
What I should and what I shouldn't.
You're violating
Number
the
one.
decorum rules right now. You have had your chance to speak. You will not be given another chance to speak unless the floor is reopened and the rules call for it.
Thank you.
And you had to have an attorney to tell you that. All right, folks that are the owners, come up in here. You have heard the neighbors. There's several of them that have quite a bit of problem with the project. The noise, the traffic, the time, all of that has added to the difficulty for the neighbors. And I'd like to see if you can address those one at a time.
Do I have to state my name again?
Please go ahead. State your name and address for the record.
All right. My name is Dion Lowe, 6370 Arrowhead Drive, Beaumont, Texas, 77707. So far as giving a clear look of what this establishment is, Beaumont doesn't really have anything that caters to the actual working man without them having to worry about outside interference. So far, I hear a lot talking about the noise complaints and stuff like that. It's not a bar, so it's not going to be any rowdy type of music. It's going to be more classical music, more jazz, more country, more things that's geared to relaxation. So far as trafficking and security and stuff like that, we've already stated that we'll definitely have security and comply with all rules and regulations that's dealing with that. The best thing is that there is no place in Beaumont, again, that's geared towards the older crowd, 25 and up. Most establishments, yeah, 30. Most establishments out here are geared towards college kids. Let's be honest. And that's where you get your riffraff at. That's where you get your loud noise, your donuts driving in the driveways and stuff like that, parking lot. You get that when you put a lot of youth in the same area with testosterone or competition-wise. We're looking to change that outlook for a different establishment.
Yeah, also, Alicia Ramsey, again, I'm sorry, 6370 Arrowhead Drive, Beaumont, Texas, 77707. So I heard a lot of things about the speed. I heard that numerous of times, but that statement is made at a time that's current. So this is even before Stormy's is open. They're already having that. So, I mean, we are trying to do, like you said, something totally different. If you look at the floor plan, oh, you don't have it. You have the floor plan? It's more of a seating area, more seating, not everyone standing up, dancing like a club and making, screaming with the music. So it's more relaxation, as we keep saying, more lounge type. Drinking, that is why we will have security. We will also train our employees to not overserve our customers. We are aware of things like that because we have gone out here before and been to numerous of places here, and we see how some people are there and you could tell they're intoxicated and they're still being served. We don't want that. We are trying to put a lot of time and effort into this, and we don't want to lose it, so we'll stand strong on that.
To address the 2 a.m. thing, it's not, I guess we didn't finish it. It's supposed to be 2 a.m., 12 to 2 a.m. on the weekend, not 7
Sunday
days a
through-
week.
Open 7 days a week, but 2 a.m. Friday, Saturday.
So, I mean, we have a lot of people. I mean, the Golden Triangle is a plant area, so we have a lot of plant workers, and and even some doctors and lawyers that get off at certain times. That it just isn't convenient for most bars, or them to actually go and chill. Yeah, lounge, yeah, and for them to actually just relax. So we're looking at. We're both Beaumont natives. We grew up here and stuff like that. We may look young, but we have a lot of wisdom that comes with us. So we see the things that actually need to be changed and things that need to be fixed in our community, especially when dealing with a establishment such as drinking and stuff like that. And we aim to accommodate that.
All right, thank you. Thank you, folks. All right, we heard from the staff. We also heard from the neighbors and the applicant. And
Chairman Najad, I would recommend just reopening the floor for public discussion one more time, given that the applicants have been given an opportunity to speak, just to make sure that fairness is being observed to all parties.
all right, sir, that's fine. Anybody that would like to speak for or against this case again? Good afternoon, ma'am. Third time is a charm.
Yeah, we can't have this. We cannot allow this. There's plenty of places in Beaumont that this would fit beautifully. This is not the environment for this. It is not.
All right.
There's no question in my mind that this is the wrong decision for that area. I wish them well. They seem like very nice people, but this is not the location for them. They can find a better location that will better serve their needs and not be a problem for a neighborhood of small children in very close proximity to a bar, any kind of alcohol consumption. It is just not the proper place for it. They can do it somewhere else and be successful, but that is not the place for it. It's residential, it's small children, it's too close. There's just too many reasons to not have it.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Darwin Bolton again, 8050 Village. I just want to say I worked at a plant all my life, and he keeps bringing that up. And I'll tell you, when we left the plant, we wasn't looking to relax. We was going to get buzzed.
Sir, please address your comments to the commission only.
We were going to drink. We weren't going to sit in a bar and relax and smoke cigars. You went to a bar to drink. And that's what you're trying to bring into this neighborhood. You've got all these beautiful homes there that you're just going to destroy it. I mean, I don't think Beaumont wants that. I don't think y'all want that. And I'm sorry.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Dennis Paquette, 2595 Sunflower. And so I get what they're doing. What I would ask would just be that the council, if you, I don't know, do you ever review business plans, kind of see what exactly is it that they're looking to accomplish? And I'll mention what we used to have on Dallin and Phelan. We used to have Cotton Creek Winery. I don't know if anyone ever went to that before. But they actually had food, good food, pizzas. It was a little wine bar type place, but it was very low key. That something along those lines I could be convinced of, or something along those lines. So I'm like, take a look at the business plan, see exactly what that looks like, what they're trying to accomplish, I know what they're saying, it's desired clientele, maybe the chemical plant and the plant operators and everything like that. Is that realistic? Is that going to succeed, or is it not going to succeed? That type of deep review of the business plan. I think of something like, if you ever have been to Italy, like to Milan, they have the aperitifs, you can get a drink, you get a whole meal with your drink that kind of comes along for free. It's like, okay, you're talking something very distinctly different than a bar. That distinction needs to be made. I'm right behind it. I could be turned myself to get something along the lines of what Cotton Creek was. Very, very different than, we're going to have a bar and people are, even if it's quiet, there's kind of two very different types of business. So yeah, that's my ask, is just take a look at the business plan, see what it is they're going to do before we say yes or no. And, I won't say no now up front, but I won't say yes either until I get a good idea of it. So.
All right, sir. Thank you. Anybody else? Did you already speak one time?
Yes, I did.
Is this your third time or what?
Probably my fourth.
Okay.
No, it should be only my third.
All right.
So along with what he said, Dean Smith, 8060 Village Drive. Along with what he was saying, like he's mentioned Cotton Creek, yes. And that is not in a residential. They don't have houses. So there are places in shopping centers, just like there is that they're building behind our house, that you can have this bar and lounge that doesn't affect a resident, including Cotton Creek, which is for sale, by the way. Is there a city ordinance where you have like a 59-49 food to alcohol? Do you have to have more food than alcohol? I know they do in some cities, and I know a friend of mine's opening a bar. She's opening a wine bar, but it's not in a residence. But they do have these regulations where they have to meet the food minimum, more food than alcohol sales. Is there something like that here? Or can you just open a barn lounge wherever?
That's the difference between why this is before you guys as a drinking establishment, because they intend to sell more alcohol than food. If it were opposite, then it would be considered a restaurant.
Gotcha. So that's why it's called bar and lounge. Got it. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
I still think that we should not go ahead.
Okay, is there anybody else? Great. We've heard from the staff and also the neighbors and the owners. We had the rebuttal. And with that, I would entertain a motion.
Make a motion to deny.
We have a motion to deny. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to deny. Any discussion in the matter? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? The ayes have it, the motion is denied. Okay, let's go to, is that the end of it? You mean we get to go home?
Yes.
The Honorable Mayor.
Christmas lighting is this evening, so with that, the meeting's adjourned.
Fantastic, thank you very much. You folks have a great day, be safe. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you listening.
I think that we have given everybody plenty of time to stay there.
We've been in contact